Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
Well, football season is here, and yes, it is time to talk all about the Cleveland Browns, the NFL, college football, even high school football, which is in week three already for Northeast Ohio high school football here. This is the voice of land right here on the Big Play and Be On Air podcast networks. I'm Kevin Arnold. Always Positive Jay to my left. Ryan Mosser to his left. We'll be joined by Hayden Grove to talk Browns, Jim Donovan, and more later on in this hour. Maybe it won't even go an hour. Jay was already trying to hint at me to make this a shorter one, so we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Kevin gonna put me on the spot, huh?
Hey, man, this content. You gotta.
Hey, when I see all three of my hosts yawning and it's just like contagious and yawning back and forth, I'm like, maybe we'll go a little shorter.
Dude,
today.
I am so tired.
I know. We all are tired, man. It's been a crazy last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm on my 2-week countdown, guys.
Yeah, before
Getting married.
I mean, you probably feel.
I feel way more married than not married. It's
Right.
just like official. But I ain't gonna lie, we're both so unbelievably excited to go to Aruba. I cannot wait.
Just sit back and.
I hope you guys have been enjoying my little countdown pictures I've been putting to tease everybody else that you ain't going and I am.
I avoid them.
Thanks.
I mean,
They're great pictures, dude.
they are great pictures, but guess what? I'm not going. You are. So
You can always go if you want to, man. You're the only person stopping you is you and kids
but
and
you
lack
pointed
of
to
funds.
is the
But
camera?
that's all your fault.
Well, I'm not getting into that.
Yeah.
So, the NFL.
Maybe we should talk some sports.
Maybe we should. We're already off to a flying start here on the Voice of Land, but we should start because the NFL starts tomorrow night as we go live and record on Wednesday. Kansas City hosting the Baltimore Ravens tomorrow night, and then you have Green Bay and Philadelphia on Friday in Brazil, and then the big Sunday of a lot of other teams getting going this coming Sunday with the Browns. You got to wait until 4:25, but hey, guys, you guys get the debut of Tom Brady as a color commentator. Ryan, just where is – I feel like this conversation has been had a lot this week, especially because it's game week. You're supposed to be excited, but where is your excitement level at?
I mean, I'm excited for the season to start. I'm excited to see how Watson's going to play. I'm excited to see where all the pieces are going to fit together. I'm cautious, but optimistic and excited. I mean, until I see it, I feel like I don't know. So, yeah.
This
Jay.
might be the most mysterious offseason I've ever seen in any team ever. It's like, I don't know what anybody looks like right now because nobody played in the preseason.
Right.
I didn't get to go to any training camp. It just feels like the most unknown that I'm waiting for. And I'm excited to just see what it's all about. We got a new offensive coordinator, new system. Let's see how that gels with Watson. I mean, left tackle right now. That's a big question. Is it going to be is it Conklin? Is it Jed Wills said he's not going to play? The coach said he might play. Like,
He said he wouldn't start. He said no to the starting question.
Yeah.
That's how it was phrased to him. But in that regard, like he
might come in if he has to.
I'm over Jed Wills.
He's
Are you
over
really?
Jed Wills. You know,
Been over Jed Wills.
Yeah.
I mean, so Ryan, we actually did back in when Jed Wills was drafted, and this was during COVID, so in 2020.
Was that the big draft party?
That
thing?
was the big virtual draft party
that was
that we did
awesome.
through Zoom, and that's when
Okay.
Nick Paulus was still one of the hosts.
By the way, we're doing that this year. We're like, we have to do it. I'm sorry to throw you off. That was so much fun, and I finally have a damn
Well,
first round.
Tell my
pick.
job that. Tell my job that because I have a feeling I'm going to be doing something else.
Well, then you gotta like just butt in here and there and like just come in on your phone. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, if there's like a virtual link, absolutely, I'll definitely check in if I can. That's way far down the road. What's ahead of us is week one. But like you said, with Jed Wills, we did this virtual draft party, and when it came to pick 10 that night in the first round, like Jay was on, and he was the one that got Hayden Grove to come on and Cam Justice and all of these All
was
of
the
these
first
stars.
time I ever learned that I can get guests.
Yes, he has power, is what he learned that night. And we started chanting. What was it? Wirfs? Was that
Yeah,
the
Tristan Wirfs.
was
Yeah.
that the
That's what I
we
wanted
want Wirfs. We want Wirfs. So it was like we had everybody going, and then they said Jed Wills, and we're like, well, I mean, like they went the direction you're supposed to go, so there wasn't a negative reaction. It's just it has not worked out. What I think I'm hoping that he learned something this offseason, Rye, because he had to go through an injury that he wasn't expecting. Remember, he was supposed to be back well before now.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be back last season.
But we found out he got a scope on his knee. He had surgery on the knee that he was originally told he wasn't going to need. So, yeah, today he said he's not going to start. He's going out there. Like, this is his first practice in total. He's done some individual stuff. He's done stuff on the side. Everybody else has gone through training camp. I know we didn't see him in preseason, but everybody else has gone through practice. So I think for him, it might be a week or two. Like, everybody's going to keep asking, and I don't want to keep asking the question, oh, will Jed Wills practice? Will Jed Wills play? Just like we did with Watson last year after week 3. It's just, I feel like it may be longer than people realize. Like, let him get up to speed physically, mentally. It's one thing to condition.
But does he want to? That's my question. That's where I see it. Does he have the yips? Is he
That's
afraid?
a big question
Is he
about him.
using this as an excuse? I'm not sure. You said he had a scope on his knee. Yes. A lot of people heal relatively quick. Some people are back within weeks. I mean, this is months. I mean, I'm not going to, he could seriously be hurt, but I don't know, man. I just don't see motivation to get back out there. I don't see it at all. So, and that for me is on par with his career so far. So,
Jay, do you feel confident Jed Wills not at least not starting? Who do you feel more confident in? Starting Hudson, who's been working there this whole offseason, or Jack Conklin, who played there in college and is a more seasoned veteran, just has not had the injury luck that he would want to since he's been here?
Jack Conklin, if he's healthy, I'd actually rather have him. And
absolutely.
And even when we drafted Jedrick Wills, I remember telling Mike Boehm, who was on with us, I was like, that's actually the one dude I want least. And he's like, why? I'm like, I just didn't want a guy that's going to go from right to left. And I'm like, I'm cool on that. I just want an established guy from the Big Ten that's just a beast. I'll take anyone from Iowa almost every year. And like you said, that's why we all wanted Wirfs. Since then, he's gotten a lot of I don't know how to put it, like people talking down about him and stuff, rightfully so. A lot of criticism, and I've kind of defended him a lot of times. And I think when you replace Joe Thomas, it's like extremely hard to do. Like, we had the greatest probably ever to do it, and those are shoes you just can't fill. It's nearly impossible you're going to find someone that damn good.
I don't think people were expecting him to fill those shoes, though. So,
but I also don't think he is as bad as everyone says.
No,
I don't think he's a C. We'd rather have a B, and I think we can improve. I do. I really think we can improve, and I think eventually we're probably going to move on from him this year. I don't think it's this injury, like you said. I think it's my guess. It's just hurt. Like, he's not ready to go, and I think they're like, we don't even want you to stress it. Would you? If this is your last year in a contract and you go back early and you hurt yourself, you're screwing yourself out of millions. And I think that's what has a lot to play into it. He wants to make sure
there's a lot.
Maybe they want him to too.
Yeah.
To make sure that he's 100%. Because if you can get him 100%, like last time we played, he was playing through injury. He had a bad ankle and he played through it and he was okay. He wasn't great, and he definitely was due for criticism. And I can see why people like you were like, I'm done with them, ready to move on. I understand that.
I don't even think he's earned a second contract, to be honest. So,
but that's why I think the Browns right now, they did draft him. He's a first round pick.
Yeah.
First round pick.
That's why he's still on the team.
Yes.
So,
and if he could come in and be like, all right, and has a great season.
I hope he does. That'd be great.
Exactly. It would be awesome. Then we don't have to go find one.
ID Crow. That'd be amazing.
And if he doesn't, no love lost. It's like we move on. He's no longer accountable on our salary cap. And we get a new one, and he's cheaper for.
And I agree with Conklin. If Conklin stays health is.
I don't trust his health or whatever. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I think he's
I mean,
I
once
think
they
he's
second-
done.
once
The
they
second
start, they don't
contract
stop.
Question.
Yeah.
I had a question. Yeah,
They
I
don't
agree,
get better. They get worse, and they come quicker.
What you don't want for Jed Wills is kind of what you're alluding to, and I know you're not actually trying to say this
Sure.
about him, Jay, but like a lot of people in his ear in the final year of his contract to go out there and earn the money, and is it smarter to hold off so that you can be at your absolute peak to then go out there and show like a burst of 5 games that then earns you more money than where your value is right now?
So I
I
think
don't.
he's going to be. The thing is, he'll probably be ready and starting next week, you guys, and he most likely will be.
It seems like we're on
And
that.
Conklin will
We'll need the
probably move
depth
back.
for sure.
Yeah, it
So
seems like we're on that
somebody.
track. For me, look, the Joe Thomas conversation, we got spoiled by having the absolute best in the game for his 11-year career.
Yeah, he was all right.
Right at left tackle. Went over 10,000 straight snaps. Did not miss, and unfortunately he was towards the end of his career where the injuries started, and he knew that they weren't going to stop, and he had done enough at that point. This seems like a cop-out answer, and it's already going through my head like, oh, cop out. But for me, at left tackle and even just offensive line, you know what I want? I don't want to hear about him during a game.
Yeah,
Because if you hear about him, that means penalty flags. That means whoever the color commentators are. Like if you hear Tom Brady talking about the left tackle, now that's a quarterback. He knows where they're supposed to be and all of that. But if you hear a defensive guy talking about the offensive lineman and he can see all of these issues, that's not a good thing. Joe Thomas wasn't necessarily talked about during games. It was after games, after the seasons. Boy, oh boy, like what he did to lock down that side of the offensive line wasn't just average, above average. It was all pro. It was Hall of Fame level, and he rightfully so. He is now enshrined in Canton, Ohio. But for Jed Wills, like, look, you need to protect the blind side. And if you don't care out there, you need to get off that football field because you are putting teammates, especially your quarterback, at risk.
For sure.
Well, since we're talking about Joe Thomas, when he played, those teams were unfortunately
Oh,
horrible.
man.
And it wasn't his fault by any means.
Imagine him in this era right now.
Those teams were bad. Do you guys feel like the national media is treating us like those teams still? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
we're not getting respect whatsoever. I think Shannon Sharp might be the legit only national person I seen say anything nice about the team.
He predicted us playing in the AFC Championship game, and we're saying we don't know, and it's hard to say how excited we really are. I was helping someone at work today, kind of going through their training process, talking on a microphone, all of those types of things, and we did kind of a mock segment, and we asked that same question: how excited really are you? And I can't really answer that because there's so much unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
that
say.
Actually makes it more exciting for me though. Like I love the unknown. Like if I could see a movie and I have no trailers, I'm going to enjoy that movie better because there's no spoilers whatsoever.
No way. My wife will ask 100 questions. No way.
Oh no, you gotta watch it alone,
No
man.
Well, there's no way I'm going to be able to enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine now because people just put out every single.
Exactly my point. Like I don't want to know everything. Sometimes the mystery is kind of making it exciting and nervous at the same time, which isn't
But
bad.
Isn't this different?
Huh?
Isn't it different here where you don't know? Because it doesn't make me excited because
here's why.
Look, the Kansas City Chiefs are the pinnacle. Like, and then in the NFC, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Like, you know what you're going to get, but you still don't know what can Patrick Mahomes pull out, what play can
Kevin,
Travis Kelce
who's the other
make?
team you said besides the Chiefs?
The 49ers.
Did we beat them last year?
We did beat
With
them.
what quarterback?
Back up.
With Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Right.
Or is it who's the other guy we had playing? I can't even remember.
Can you tell me for
They're
a
not
fact
even
right
on our
now?
team.
Can you tell me for a
PJ
fact
Walker.
right now what Watson will be?
No, but I could tell you he is better than what we were playing with last year.
He's supposed to
Maybe
be.
not better than Flacco. Maybe. I don't know. That is unknown. I do think he's better than.
He needs to be.
Damn it!
better
Who is
Flacco.
the other?
PJ
quarterback?
Walker.
Thank you, PJ Walker. He is better than PJ Walker. He was winning. Was he putting up their points that Flacco? No, but he was. Watson was winning. He really was. And then he got hurt, and that sucked.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm excited. Like, he might be really, really good, or he might just suck. But the unknown is what's exciting, man.
Right now, I'm in between the here and now and the upside down in Stranger Things. Like, that's where I feel like a hamster on a wheel where we're just going around in circles. Well, the Browns will only be good if Watson's good, but look at their roster. This is Super Bowl caliber roster.
The Browns can still be good even if Watson's just okay, though. They can be really good if Watson's just okay.
So to your original question about the national media, do they see this team as one of those? Yes, they do, because they're acting like they know what Watson's going to be. They are trying to tell you, just because it's going to get clicks and we're going to react to it and everybody's going to quote tweet it and all of that. Browns fans are going to get up in their feelings. Browns Twitter's going to get in their feelings. They know that they're going to get the reaction by saying, I know for a fact right now, without seeing a game after this injury in 2024, when everybody says each season is different, everybody improves or can change how they play the next year after year after year, they are telling you that he is going to suck.
I've been on this show, I don't know how many times.
I just don't know.
We've been extremely critical of him.
Realistically, you don't know.
Overcritical.
Right.
We weren't like just making things up. We just said what we saw and the facts with the facts. I'll tell you right now, no one knows what this dude's going to do next year. He can be great. They changed this offense to cater to everything he has. No excuses.
They brought in Dorsey, who worked with Cam Newton and Josh Allen,
and it's shown that he's had great success with those guys.
So.
They brought their second receiver at the start of last year was Donovan Peoples-Jones. He doesn't even have a job right now. Our second receiver is Judy. We got Njoku coming back. We got our defense is back, which is amazing and probably even better now with the upgrades at linebacker and a couple more spots in defensive tackle. Like, this season could be an amazing season, Kevin, or a heartbreaking season.
And unfortunately, we've been
the fact that we could be either is what I'm saying is what's exciting to me, because we can be like we literally have the ceiling of like a 13, 12-win team. We have the floor of like a 6-win team, but we're no longer like, are we even gonna win a damn game?
I mean, the hope is always there, and we're going to watch because of that. Like, the Browns bring the intrigue, no matter if it's good, bad, indifferent, ugly, whatever. Before we continue, I do want to mention our friend Jared Bates, Fatty from Illegal Ham to the Face, plus doing a lot of stuff. I think he's
He started another show.
Yeah, but I don't want to, like, if that's
I'll
not
let him
official.
bring that,
Yeah, we'll let him bring that up. But he comments on Facebook, and I swear I did not see this comment, Jared, before you said this. He literally said during our left tackle conversation, he said, "Is it because Jed is the first left tackle since our Hall of Famer? We have been so spoiled with Hall of Fame left tackle that any other can't compare." I literally said almost the exact wording. And I didn't see this comment before. I just thought that was funny. So, but yeah, I mean, left tackle, that's a question mark. You want that to be solidified so that we get, look, all of the rust conversations, the excuses for the quarterback, which goes back to Baker Mayfield, now into Deshaun Watson. No excuses, no anything outside of the expectation is to win. With this roster, the talent that they have put around you, they have set Deshaun Watson and the Browns, the front office has set him up for success. Kevin Stefanski and his coaching staff decided to move on from an offensive coordinator and have made changes around that offensive coaching staff. Is he calling the plays still? Sure, but that's what he's known for. I think there's enough conversations during a week between an offensive coordinator and a head coach. When you have a plan, you have a script of plays, and you have a collection of plays you feel confident in, both of them would be calling very similar plays. Are they calling them in the same situation? Look, week one's going to tell you a lot, and then they have those conversations. Look, I probably would have done this, and you got to have those tough conversations to be a great team. They have put everything together to be a great team.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand, Jay, the excitement you get from the unknown. I don't feel it. I'm not even down in the dumps though either. Like I am so in between. I'm literally on the fence. Like I literally don't know which side to go to because there is so much unknown in that.
Mentioning unknowns, we got a surprise.
That scares me more than
At
excites
any
me.
given point during the season, we're going to get a surprise, like a Christmas gift in the name of Nick Chubb. And there's another unknown. Are you not excited to see Nick Chubb come back?
I'm
Everyone's
always
excited to see him
excited.
come back.
I mean, the thing you'd be most excited about is the defense, though, right? I mean,
I can't wait. I cannot wait to watch Myles Garrett again. He just makes me happy as a Browns fan.
Ryan, did you really see them as the number one defense last year as they were ranked statistically with the issues on the road?
I mean, they were up there. I thought the Saints had a good defense. I thought the Bills have a pretty good defense, but I think that there's not really many holes on this defense right now. Our defensive line is definitely the best, I think, in the NFL, or at least top 2 or 3. I think our secondary, they're mean, they're hungry, they like to talk their talk, and they back it up. And I think, we definitely, if not have the top 3 best corners in the league, we're up there with anybody. So I think there's a lot of excitement that comes with this defense and a lot of expectations as well, though. So I just they need to play well, and I think they will. So
it's all about health.
Yeah.
If they stay healthy, they're going to be an elite defense. Best, I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and argue who's the best and not the best. I could sit there and pull out stats and tell you this one's the best because of this or this guy's the best. No, but they're one of the best. That's we know for sure. And if they stay healthy, they're a more formidable bunch. Not to mention, they were really good last year. This is their second year in this system.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to imply even more stuff for them and stuff. So,
you know who I'm excited to see? MJ Emerson.
Yep.
I was going to say
Love
that too.
him.
That's so
Like,
fun.
Like, I don't know what it is about it. Like, we know Denzel is like a guy you don't throw at. He's going to lock you down. Like, he has shown that.
Denzel might be the most underappreciated.
I
Browns
think he
player
is
on the
because he
team.
doesn't get talked about enough among the top cornerbacks in the entire league.
Yeah.
MJ Emerson has, like, he does it kind of quietly, though, does Denzel. But
he's a bulldog.
he is
mean.
a bulldog.
Yeah.
Now, does that lead to some of his concussion issues? Yes, he is trying a new helmet this season. I don't know if it's like the top line where almost like the skull caps are built in
Yeah, the Guardian
into
helmets.
it, the Guardian helmet built into it, but something a little bit more protection wise. It sucks that he was wearing a Guardian helmet and still got a concussion. I think he was feeling okay, but again, you're in the protocol. You got to follow that. I saw him hit the ground. It didn't seem very good, but he seemed in good spirits. And
I mean,
today,
it was confirmed it was his fifth concussion, so it was a concussion. We're talking about Ward, right?
yes.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see him be a captain.
Yeah.
Because like the leadership that you see, like he is so quiet. When he's in interviews, he's very quick. He gives very short answers. Makes it great for someone that has to cut sound and not have to dig through a minute-long answer. But he
was like that when I met him too.
Yeah.
He was very short and like
he's
keeps
been
to
a
himself
leader,
kind
though.
of.
Like behind the scenes, he's been that leader and he's the captain. But you know who has the swag and is building a reputation for being another
He's got
great
the
corner?
dog in him, man.
Emerson, man.
MJ Emerson. If you have a lockdown corner on one side and the other side, and Greg Newsome builds some confidence as he gets back from his injury and he has the slot, these guys stay healthy.
Dangerous. A lot of
Boy,
talking.
oh boy, like if Miles can't get home,
Yeah.
where are you going to throw to? Because like
That's the beauty of it. Like,
lockdown.
you might not see Miles get the sack, but he's forcing the quarterback to throw a little bit off of where he's used to throwing, and that leads to those guys getting picks.
And with the addition of, I mean, we'll see with Mike Hall Jr. as well. I mean, that kid, I mean, he's one of the fastest. He was compared to Aaron Donald on his quickness just to get off the line. So
Yeah.
we'll see how. I mean, obviously he's on the NFL commissioner exempt list right now, but with after all that legal stuff, goes through, we'll see if he can get on the field and make a difference for us. So if he does,
And yeah, I mean, if the legal process tells us the story of the alleged incident, then he shouldn't be. People like that shouldn't be anywhere.
Agreed.
Anywhere near. Like I understand people deserve second chances. It doesn't get talked about now with Watson. Like that was one reason when he came here that people didn't like that he was here.
Mhm.
It's still a reason I'm not like I can't be and go to the mountaintop and be the biggest Watson supporter. I am rooting for the Browns, and he is the quarterback. So I've been able to look at it from a football standpoint, but I don't want it to be swept under the rug, these alleged incidents, because these types of things, not just to prominent people, these things happen in our society, and it is disgusting when it's legit, not just even alleged. It is disgusting. It is unacceptable. Should not happen. That kind of behavior should not be acceptable. Again, second chances are out there, but if you don't learn from your mistake the first time, and it comes back, I mean, how many more chances do you get? And if you have talent in professional sports, we have seen guys get more than a second chance, sometimes unjustifiably so, just because people just want to win. And there's things that can be bigger than winning. Before Hayden Grove does join us here in just a couple minutes, I do want to touch on college football. We did see week 1, Ohio State 52-6 over Akron. Everybody freaking out when Akron went up 3-0. Oh boy, an offense that hasn't had a chance to play against anybody else but themselves.
Are you talking about on Twitter?
Yes.
Do not look at Twitter during games.
It's not even.
It is the worst place to look during games.
This is why
no
I
matter
don't
what,
tweet.
during Guardians games, during Browns games, and the worst is during OSU games.
I love it.
This is why I don't
I
live
can't
tweet
stand
games.
it.
Like, look at the whole picture. Once the game ends, when you say something after the first play of an NFL game, college football game, whatever, especially in Browns Twitter or Northeast Ohio version of Buckeye Twitter, like that tweet, by the time the halftime comes, let alone the end of the game, that story has completely changed. You know, like, and I get it. Everybody wants to react immediately. That's what social media has brought to us. But Jeremiah Smith, he's that dude.
He's that dude.
This defense is going to be tough. Are you going to learn anything from a game against Akron? No. Everybody's upset that they didn't cover. Oh, if you bet that they were going to cover, I'm sorry that you lost money. Chip Kelly said he wasn't trying to put up 70 or anything. He's trying to establish the run game, an identity. Start the habits now against the teams you can get away with some mistakes against, so that by the time you do get to Oregon in the middle of the season, that type of stuff is all weeded out, and you're just an engine with chemistry that's ready to roll against the best of the best.
I cannot wait for this playoffs, like, to see how it goes. Like, I've been wanting this for so long.
Apparently, Florida State didn't get the memo that
that football season started.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Oh boy. DJ, I don't even know how to say his last name, but
DJ, I can't hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want
Sorry,
to. I'm not a Florida State fan or once a Clemson
I'm not a
fan.
fan of any team outside of, like, Ohio State, Cleveland, and Cleveland. This, you know what I mean?
I mean, Cleveland State's undefeated since 1964. So,
Boom.
I thought you were going to come back at me for that one. They don't have football.
No, I just let it go.
Can you imagine if Cleveland State ever did get a football program, like the kids that here in Northeast Ohio alone, the talent that's kind of left over that ends up going to D2 and D3, Cleveland State in a Division I level, like the talent they'd have to get to start their program with. Like how great.
All the really good players, guess where they're going to go?
Ohio State.
Well, yeah, I know
They're
that.
going to end up looking just like Akron. Probably not even as good as
Cleveland
Akron.
State would be FCS. They wouldn't even be FBS.
Yeah, maybe they'd do good there, but
I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to prop Northeast Ohio football talent, and you just completely.
I agree,
crapped
but
on it.
it's just all the really good ones go to Ohio State.
Except for Trey McNutt, who's going to Oregon. But
He's a traitor.
Hey, you know you can't.
I'm joking. He's probably
This
a
isn't-
good kid.
This isn't Pokemon. You know you can't catch them all.
Yeah,
want to.
exactly.
I would like to, yes, but there's only so many spots, and look, Quinn Ewers is, and I love that he's still calling it that school up north when they face off against that school
Does
up
he?
north. Yeah, he does.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, but look,
Once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye.
he was there for money.
he wasn't going to get a chance, and he is one of those top quarterbacks, and he took advantage of the transfer portal and went and found a starting job in Texas. There's plenty of guys like that, you know, if they don't get an opportunity here, they're going to transfer. That's just going to happen. And then you can bring in someone else to replace. this whole new era and world of college football.
I love it. It's amazing.
Did you see what Nick Saban said on College Game Day?
Yeah.
And yeah,
You almost broke the internet.
yeah, I think he did kind of break the internet with that. He was saying how they're talking about these $20 million rosters, like you're paying for these guys to come here now. Graduate transfers, guys in the transfer portal, not just recruits out of high school, but guys that aren't getting what they thought out of the first program they decided to go to, and they're spending all this money. He's like, you can talk all about $20 million rosters, but if you don't pay the right guys, you're SOL.
Sure.
But he literally said,
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
yeah, he basically pulled a Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee might be rubbing off on Nick Saban. I like Nick Saban, the commentator.
I mean, he literally was shirtless, rubbing all over him, like hanging on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, poor Nick Saban. I felt so bad for him. It's like, what the hell happened here? I went from this prestige college coach to this guy hanging all over.
Everybody
me.
made those comments and took pictures of his and the little video snippets of his face and stuff like that. I think he loves going on Pat McAfee and what he gets to do right now. And if he ever goes back to coaching, I'll understand, because people can't let it go. But I'm liking this version of Nick Saban.
I think he's done. I think he's having fun and retired.
I mean, even Bill Belichick is going on with Pat and some of that stuff. And I've you kind of like a guy like that you don't like when they're coaching. We are connecting with Hayden Grove right now here in just a second, but overall, college football, guys, I mean, we're going to see so many different things this season. And like you said, the college football playoff, I cannot wait to see how this whole process goes once we get that all situated. But it's only week 1. Don't overreact. Ohio State will be fine. Plenty of the top programs will be fine. But we do welcome from Cleveland.com, Hayden Grove to the program. Hayden, you are a friend of the show. Thank you so much for taking some time tonight, kind of on our football special as the Browns kick off this Sunday. How are things going for you? Any new spots that you've been able to display those singing talents at lately?
Things are good. No, I just kind of same old grinding. Getting ready for an exciting football season here in Cleveland and around the country.
Now, Hayden, we saved this conversation for when you came on, because I know Jay probably talked to you about wanting to talk about this as well. And I know you haven't been out to training camp, but Jim Donovan stepping down as the play-by-play voice, the voice that we have kind of heard, just your thoughts on that. And of course, I know we are all wishing Jim the absolute best as he continues to fight against cancer and spend time with his family, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's really unfortunate. It's the worst. That's really all you can say about it. I really hope and pray, and I've been praying for Jimmy, that he can, find a way to once again beat this thing, and can find a way to, come back and he said he's called his last Browns game, and maybe that's so, but maybe he can still find a way to be around the team or something. But, we got to all, give him all the positive support and all the positive prayers and thoughts and everything that we possibly can to send him his way, because, it's way bigger than football. It's way bigger than the Browns. It's about, everything that he brings to not only Cleveland, but his family. It's way bigger than football. So we just given all the positive prayers and thoughts that we can his way.
I know for my generation, the kids that, born in the 90s and basically coming of age during the time when the Browns were gone. So as I became more conscientious of sports and stuff like that, 1999, my first real memory, I never really paid attention, Hayden, to play-by-play and stuff, and somehow I ended up getting into it, but I wasn't like Jim, where he was at Celtics games and Bruins games and calling them himself and then sending tapes off to the top sports guys of those times. But I remember that moment, that Hail Mary in New Orleans, when Kevin Johnson caught that. That was that moment, just sitting outside with my dad and my mom working on the outside yard. I feel like a lot of us have those memories, that first time that we heard that voice. And while radio seems like it's an ancient thing, boy, oh boy, could he paint a picture, and how lucky we have been to have him and so many guys like him here in Cleveland to paint those pictures.
Yeah, we've been certainly lucky in Cleveland. Tom Hamilton continues to do it and is incredible. And obviously Jimmy painted some wonderful pictures of the Cleveland Browns. And I think that, yes, in the age of TV, in the age of, being able to watch all this stuff, I think that sometimes it's kind of an overlooked art, but it certainly is an art. And it brings you back to a time where things were a little bit simpler, and it kind of allows you to paint your own picture, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, I love listening to games on the radio. Obviously, I don't get to do it too much anymore with the Browns. But there is something different about it. In terms of a television broadcast, it's more about stories and whatnot. But when you're talking about play-by-play on the radio, you gotta be specific. You gotta be detailed, and you have to use your own paintbrush to kind of show the viewers that what they can't see. And I think it's a lost art, and I think that we are certainly lucky here in Cleveland to have some of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he's like Rembrandt with a microphone, and with that, it feels like an end of an era, with Doug Deacon stepping down, I think it was last year, and now Jimmy ending. It feels like the voice of Brown's generation has now stopped. Nathan is great, and I'm not sure who we have going next.
Nobody has said anything.
Yeah, we'll find out very soon, but it feels like it's definitely a huge loss right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely the end of an era. Jimmy and Doug were an incredible duo. And I really do feel kind of horrible that that they had to endure so many bad seasons and so many just apathetic football and so much dysfunction and stuff, because now they're they're starting to turn the corner, and now they're looking like, okay, if maybe not a perennial Super Bowl contender, at least a perennial team that you kind of got to watch out for in the AFC North. So that's something that they didn't get to see too much of, unfortunately, and I do feel badly for that, but I'm sure there's no one happier that they are turning the corner than both Jimmy and Doug. Being
in the media, sports media, do you have any stories or run-ins with Jimmy that you'd want to share with us at all?
No, Jim, but nothing specific. Jimmy was just always very kind to me, and always, took an interest in my in what I was doing, both at Cleveland.com and in music. He would often mention some songs that he really liked, and he'd ask me if I would do them or whatever. And he was also a very funny guy. He was always, quipping about this and that and the other thing. So he just, again, always was, had a kind word, and was definitely always very affable guy and great to deal with. So certainly that I will definitely miss having him around in that regard, 100%.
I always remember when he pretty much stuck up for all the fans, and I forget who said something about our fans, and he really took our back, and how we've been there through thick and thin, and they're the ones that haven't showed up, and we have been showing up since. Well, I mean, Cleveland's just always going to appreciate him. We're going to miss him so dearly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cleveland. I mean, he loves Cleveland. He loves the city. He loves the fans, because that's who have made his career, for lack of a better term. I mean, if people weren't listening, then he doesn't have a job. So, and he's been there. He's been through the downs, and he's been through everything that's gone on with the franchise. And he knows that the fans have been there through, hell and high water. It doesn't matter. They're always out there. So Jimmy was the first one to stick up with the fans, and as he should, and as he was more than willing to do, which is awesome. So. And that goes for him. That goes for a lot of Cleveland. I think sometimes these guys get kind of they do work for the teams, and they can kind of get caught up in that. But if things weren't going well for the Browns, he wasn't one to sugarcoat it. He wasn't one to say how great things were. He just wanted to keep it real. So that's definitely appreciated as well.
Guess what? He missed it. That was pretty good quote from Jimmy there.
Yeah, and it's someone that's garnered that kind of respect. And again, we're just wishing him the best. I know he's with his family, but Cleveland is fighting right alongside you, Jim Donovan. Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com, is our guest. And Hayden, to switch gears as we do get into the season, as we said, I know you haven't had a chance to get out to training camp and see the team a lot, but just from your perspective, we've talked a lot tonight about excitement level and a lot of the unknown around this team. Where is your excitement level going into this year? What do you expect this NFL season for the Cleveland Browns?
I wish I had a better answer for you, man. I think it's so up in the air. I really do.
That's
I
where
think
we've all
that-
been. That's where we're all at tonight.
Yeah, I think that when you look at the roster, I really do think, yet again, for maybe the fourth year in a row, it's the best roster they've had, right? This is the best roster we've seen since '99. I think you look at the offensive line, they're pretty set in that regard. Yes, like Jed Wills might be, out week one, but think DeJuan Jones can do a fine job. You look at the wide receivers, you added Jerry Jeudy to a group that was already pretty good last year. David Njoku and Jordan Aiken. David Njoku had a, borderline Pro Bowl year last year, and I think he's even, apt to have a better year this year. Jordan Aiken's, backing him up. And then Nick Chubb, hopefully you get him back at some point very soon. But even then, Jerome Ford, Deontay Foreman, I think there's some nice opportunities for them there. It's all about the quarterback. It really is. I think that is the biggest what if. That is the biggest weakness. That is the biggest unknown of this team. Defense last year was number one in the league. I think they only got better, adding some of the guys that they added this offseason. But it's all about the quarterback. We know that. We saw how well Joe Flacco played and how good the team was when he played well. And we don't know what Deshaun's going to give them. I have seen reports from Zach Jackson saying that he was atrocious in training camp, and I've seen reports saying, he wasn't awful, but we haven't seen anything, and it doesn't really matter, right? All that matters is how he plays in the regular season. And I think it's just such a huge question mark, and really will be the telltale of whether this thing is headed back in the right direction, or if kind of a reboot is needed at the quarterback position.
What's your feelings on Jedrick Wills?
You want my honest feelings on
Yeah,
Jedrick
Yes.
honest to God.
We've
We
given
have
them all
mixed
tonight.
feelings on here.
We've given them all.
I think there's something kind of behind the scenes with him that that doesn't necessarily that we don't get to see. I think it's maybe a thing between the ears, and I'm very sympathetic of that. From what I've dealt with, so I think that kind of has something to do with his kind of inconsistency, and I don't think it's a lack of toughness. I don't know. I don't think we're privy to see, and nor should we be. But I think that there's something going on there, and I just hope Jed's okay, and I hope he's as happy and as healthy as he can be. But I don't necessarily think that we are getting the best of Jed Wills, and I hope that Jed Wills gets the best for himself, and maybe we will see the best of Jed Wills.
I mean, one of the hardest things coming back from an injury, you got to come back physically, but then you got to get over that mental hurdle of, is my body going to hold up? And you're afraid of getting hurt, and especially, like I said, in a contract year for him, that's got to be terrifying in a way.
That is one of the most overlooked things in sports. We just think that, these guys, they get paid millions of dollars, and they get the best care, and they get the best surgeries, and they'll be back and be back to themselves. And sometimes they are, right? Sometimes they certainly are, but other times I think, there is a huge kind of mental hurdle that they have to fight through. Getting that confidence back in that leg or in that shoulder, or in that whatever it may be. It's a huge thing that we overlook a lot. So it's easier said than done to kind of get back from an injury, and getting back mentally is as hard as anything, as well as physically.
And doing all that, with hundreds of thousands of people watching you, and then if you do horrible, they just come and attack you on social media. I'm sure it's really easy,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're such a this and you're such a that. You're soft for not playing. Yeah, well, you go through a big injury and see how it feels. It's not easy.
Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com is our guest. How intrigued are you to see this new kickoff rule and how teams are going to try to strategize throughout the year, with possibly some more big plays coming out of the opening kickoff and something we haven't seen recent years?
I was actually initially excited, and I think I'm less excited now. I think that the idea, like in theory, it was cool, but I think, and maybe it was just the preseason where it wasn't really cool. But I think at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I think the art has just kind of been lost, and they're trying to recreate the wheel, and maybe it is just best if they, that you started off at the 25-yard line. I mean, that's what it's going to be mostly anyways. I think they're going to just kick it into the end zone and say, okay, you start at the 25 or the 30 or whatever it is. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong, and they really do a good job of trying to kick that ball into that zone and making guys make plays. But I think the easy thing to do is just to kind of kick it out and say, okay, take it up to 30 or whatever it is.
I was privileged to talk to Josh Cribbs at the Big Play golf outing this Sunday, and he was telling me how he's extremely excited for it. And he's like, man, I really wish I was still playing, because I'm going to tell you right now, I would have broke all kinds of records with this setup. He goes, because the beauty of it, if you can get past that initial wall, it's just daylight after that. And I just hope, because it was one of my favorite plays growing up, watching Eric Metcalf, and then just like I said to Josh Cribbs, like the kickoff was so exciting, and it is just the most dull play in all of sports right now. And I'm glad they at least attempted to do something to change it up.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? Like, we grew up in the era where it was fun to watch a Josh Cribbs, it was fun to watch a Devin Hester, it was fun to watch these guys. Like, Devin Hester's in the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't know. I mean,
Dante Hall,
Cribbs,
the human
Dante
joystick.
Hall, right. And if any of those guys, I don't know that Josh Cribbs will get in the Hall. I mean, it would be awesome for him to do that.
Be.
I think he deserves to be at least in the Browns Hall of Fame. But that being said, you just don't see things like that anymore. It's like those guys are saved for offense or defense, and maybe this will change that. Maybe it will, but I don't know. I was excited. I think I'm a little less excited now, but maybe my mind will be changed.
Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com. Hayden, what projects, where can people see your work? Like, plug everything you have coming up. I know that as we get into the football season and get close to the holiday time, I'm sure the singing engagements are going to pick up for you as well.
Yeah, plenty going on. You can check out all my socials at H_Grove. It's for everything. So check me out there. You'll be able to see everything I'm working on, whatever it may be, whether it's sports, whether it's singing, whatever I'm doing that day, you'll be able to find out on my social media.
Well, I'll give all my listeners a tip. You need a date night, you go take your special friend and you go watch Hayden and listen to him, and you're going to be in good hands.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Well, and we all share that same sentiment. Well, Hayden, thank you so much. We always enjoy talking to you. You are a friend of the show, so
and thank you so much for the extreme late notice of coming on. That was
Yeah, man. Anytime. We're glad to help.
Absolutely. Hayden, good luck with everything you have going on. I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point this football season. Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com. We appreciate your time here tonight.
Thanks, Hayden.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
It is Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com. I mean, you hear it right there. It's the same kind of conversation.
I know. I was going to tell him, like, well, I'm glad I rushed you to come on so you could say the exact same things we just said. But it just tells you that's how I think all Browns fans feel.
Yeah. Like, we need actual games, guys. Like, I guess what I'm excited for. Next week when we do the show, we can break down a game. We can break down the X's and O's when guys have to play. This isn't preseason where you can sit them out and everything like that. We can break down these games.
I can't wait.
I
cannot wait. Like, and we get a Thursday night game with like two good teams. Like, other normally garbage prison inmates don't want to watch games.
I don't know if we'll be watching that game tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot. I love, like, football to me, Kevin, is your soccer, man. I get excited for pro football like no other.
I'm excited for fantasy football. So
yeah,
I'm ready.
I definitely did my draft yesterday. Kevin is now in the underground league I run at.
I'm in 9 leagues. So.
9
leagues.
I'm in leagues where I have my college players as teams.
All right,
and I'm addicted to
Field Yates in 16. Did you see what happened to Field Yates when they were trying to set their draft order for one of his 16
dislocated his shoulder, didn't he?
Dislocated his shoulder. They were doing like a combine to get like the fastest, like the times would then dictate where you drafted and everything. One question for you guys, because I wholeheartedly trust this, but would you trust your significant other to draft for you?
I would. Yep.
No.
I've made my wife do plenty of leagues, so yeah, I think. I mean,
Tiffany watches absolutely zero sports, has absolutely zero interest in them, but she'd probably just auto pick for me. I'd be like, yeah, just auto pick. So most likely, I like.
She'd be the person I'd want to
I
do my
don't
March
trust
Madness
auto
bracket.
pick, so wouldn't trust her. And that's
I would want her to do my March Madness bracket.
Just random teams.
because it's the people that don't know a lot, and they either go with the, the colors
sore
of the
subject, Kevin.
Yeah, it's a sore subject for me.
I'm like,
I
brackets.
still owe you wings for that, but
Yeah, you do owe me wings, and now you got to watch Jaws. So pay up and watch away.
I bring that question up because in about 10 minutes, Jana's going to be drafting for me in my one of two.
I would
leagues
trust
this
Jana.
year.
I would.
I probably trust her more than myself.
I also would trust her over you.
But I did win this league last year.
Kevin works for a radio station. I'm like, yeah, I'd let your wife draft over you.
I always I started to say I was really just going down to one league, but I mean, you guys asked me, you guys needed somebody, and it's a free league. Like it's
free. You get your name on a trophy, which the trophy's sweet.
Yes,
it looks like the Super Bowl trophy, and I haven't put any names on the last 2 years because for a $3 nameplate, it's $22 in shipping. So I was like, I'll just do it like 3 at a time next time.
yeah, just do it in bulk.
Yeah, I'm like, I ain't doing
every
this
few
again.
years, just do it in bulk.
It went from $5 to $20-something. I was like, wow, you're killing me.
Guys,
inflation, gotta love it.
As we close out here tonight, we mentioned some of the big NFL games. Make sure to tune in ChagrinValleyConference.com. If you have Spectrum, get to Spectrum Sports. I'm sure other live streams are going to be going, radio feeds, social media. Kirtland at Perry this Friday night. Peter's team of LPV Productions, AA Anthony Alford, Kyle Cornell, the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast boys. Yes, they are back calling high school football again. It is the ESPN Cleveland Game of the Week. It's being voted on by Fox 8, by Browns fans to be their games of the week. This is one of the big lower division matchups you are going to see this year. Kirtland lost to Perry last year at home. Kirtland did. So Kirtland trying to get revenge. Perry won the Division 5 state championship. Kirtland won the Division 6. 2 defending state champions. What more can you ask for? Tiger Laverty, longtime coach at Kirtland. Bob Geswich.
I mean, all you can ask for more is a front seat and a hot dog, and you'd be good to go.
Absolutely. I'm going to have it up on the TVs as we do our high school stuff at ESPN Cleveland, our scoreboard show. That's our game of the week. We're going to be focused on it. So many different angles. Make sure the best live stream out there, the best live stream going. I might sound biased saying that, but it really is. Peter has done a tremendous job growing this since we started this during COVID. ChagrinValleyConference.com. You're not going to want to miss this matchup. Make sure you check that out on Friday night. Kickoff at 7 p.m. But for Ryan Mosser, always positive Jay, Peter Tellup, Jacob Tellup, I am Kevin Earl, reminding all of you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all 3,000.
And don't talk about it, be about it.
No soup for you.
And live life. All gas, no brakes. Football is here. The NFL starts this week. Enjoy it, everybody. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Hoo, hoo. We'll see you next time right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play and Be On Air Podcast Networks.
Go